lovely. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast. I'm Theresa Feeberts. I'm so happy you're here. I'm looking around the room. I see old faces, new faces, familiar faces, all lovely faces, and all the face of God, right? All the face of God. How beautiful is that? That's great. Just for those online, sorry I couldn't get the Zoom up. So next week, we're working on it. Next week. I just got back last night around 9:30. Somewhere very close to 9:30 after being out of town for 12 days. And I want this morning to be all about what I did on my summer vacation. I want to tell you every little part of it because I was with my grandkids the whole time, my son and daughter, and I just want this to be that. But I am going to allow our time together it inspired me so much, so it's inspiring what I have to share this morning. I also want to look back at last week and say Happy Independence Day to everyone. I'll just draw it out for the whole month. It's happy birthday to our country, but it's also an opportunity for us to recognize our individual freedom and to feel into that in a really deep way. And I want to thank Rev G, who is probably watching from home, and Ron, maybe who's watching from home, and Phil back there for last week. And then, so I loved what you put together. And then to our tech team, holy smokes, you guys. Wow, what a feat. And Hector, too, thank you so much. Jennifer, I know what happened was you took these teachings into action, didn't you? Yeah. So for those of you that don't know what happened last week is we couldn't get in the building. Now it's just a tad warm right now. It wasn't really a big deal. They kept thinking they'd get the door open. They changed the code to the lock. We couldn't get in. They set up outside under that tree. People brought blankets out of their cars, beach chairs out of their cars, and I was out of town. It was lovely to see online, and I watched it on our way home last night. So it was just beautiful, and I'm just really excited. This teaching is all about what do we do with the challenges. It is all about that. It is all about removing the shackles, which are erroneous thoughts, which are old beliefs, which are paradigms that maybe we grew up with, which is the society telling us how to be, or our parents told us, or our religion tells us, or our political party tells us. And it's all about using our thought in a way that we know it's true, like I know that I know that I know that I know. That kind of knowing. And then being able to use the power within us so that those circumstances, whether they actually change, because we say change your thinking, change your life, right? But what if it doesn't change the outside? Like, what if I don't wake up tomorrow morning and I'm, what did I say 2 weeks ago? I'm 6'8" and, whatever. It ain't gonna happen, right? But we change our perspective and then my height doesn't matter, right? So you get where we're coming from with that. It's what it's all about, is to unlock those shackles. And we find freedom every moment, every day when we can do that. And we can do it in a moment. This doesn't have to be a long, drawn-out process. In a moment, we can forgive. In a moment, we can change our perspective. In a moment, we can have a new idea. That's what this teaching is all about. So this month, our theme is speaking truth to circumstance. It's kind of a play on that speaking truth to power, right? Speaking truth to power. I'm going to talk a little bit about where that came from. But, our circumstances look like scary monsters sometimes. And we're putting that energy into that scary monster to make it seem like a villain. We do that. We do that. So, we do it when we fall asleep. So today we are really looking at how we can become hypnotized. Hypnotized by the media, hypnotized again by our religions, our culture, whatever it happens to be. Because when we're in that place, then we become reactionary, robotic, habitual in a way that's unconscious. We want to wake up. Yeah? So, 2 weeks ago, Bobby and I read the Declaration of Principles for the Science of Mind. What it's all about, right? Here's one of those sentences that we read. We believe the ultimate goal of life to be a complete emancipation from all discord of every nature, and that this goal is sure to be attained by all. You may or may not believe that right in this moment. I believe it's true. So let's take this idea and go into consciousness intentionally, recognizing that we're aligning ourselves with a higher order, with something beyond what we see in condition and form, that which is behind condition and form, that which is behind all condition and form. We believe the ultimate goal of life is to be complete emancipation from all discord of every nature. So what I know right now, as we join together in consciousness, is that really only one with the divine creates a majority. But man, look at this here now. This is a powerful moment. This is a transformative moment. There is power in the word that is spoken, and there is power in the collective consciousness that knows that there's only one power. There's only one real power. That is that creative energy, the source and substance of all life. That process, that creative process that brings life from the infinite, unformed realm of infinite possibilities, of all good, of wholeness, of perfection, and brings it into form. That form being Theresa, that form being every person sitting here in this room, everyone at home, everyone everywhere, this beauty behind me in the garden, all forms, all things, all people, all circumstances, all situations, everything, everywhere, everyone, everything, everywhere, is that divine incarnation, that unique incarnation, for the one has multiplied itself, diversified itself, creatively, dynamically, brilliantly, as this thing called life which we experience. And so what I affirm for each one of us is that we explore and experience that expansion and the release and the surrender right here, right now, of limiting ideas. And within each one of us, we know personally what is mine to release. I know right here, right now, what limiting thoughts hold me back. I invite you to consciously, intentionally let that go. Let those old, tired stories go. The judgments, the fears, the worries, the critiques, let them go. And with hands and heart and mind empty, all that negativity that holds us, that binds us, that keeps us in bondage, keeps us from knowing the truth of the one. We You lean in now. Fall into the abyss of love. Fall into that which says, yes, yes, my love. Yes, yes. I invite you to just take this moment and picture and feel into that heart's desire, that complete emancipation, that which brings freedom and glory and good into your mind. See it, feel it, own it. As I declare that there is nothing greater, nothing more powerful than the power of knowing who and what we are. There is nothing more powerful than knowing I am the one incarnate, here to love and live full out. I affirm this for each and every one of us. I am so grateful for the multiplicity, for the colorful ways that Spirit plays and shows up uniquely as each and every one of us. I'm so grateful for this good, for this glory, for this God. And so it is. So it is. We have Jack Berry back. I don't remember how many weeks it's been since he was here, but I have been so excited to bring him back because you're very joyful and colorful and wonderful, and you fit right in.
Thanks so much for having me back.
Yeah, you got it. Go with it.
Would you still like me to do that Beatles song from last time? Did it have some
I would.
words?
Okay.
I would.
Here's a song I did last time, if you saw me last time. It's a fun John Lennon song, kind of about his childhood, but also his developing awareness of his changing consciousness. Let me take you down, 'cause I'm going to Strawberry Field. Nothing is real, nothing to get hung about. Strawberry fields forever. Living is easy with eyes closed, misunderstanding all you see. It's getting hard to be someone, but it all works out. Doesn't matter much to me. Let me take you down, 'cause I'm going to Strawberry Fields. Nothing is real, nothing to get hung about. Strawberry fields forever. Always know, sometimes think it's me, but you know I know when it's a dream. I think I know, I mean, yes, but it's all wrong. That is, I think I disagree. Let me take you down, 'cause I'm going to Strawberry Fields. Nothing is real, nothing to get hung about. Strawberry fields forever. Someone I think is in my tree. I mean, it must be high or low. That is, you can't, tune in, but it's alright. That is, I think it's not too bad. Let me take you down, 'cause I'm going to Strawberry Fields. Nothing is real, nothing to get hung about. Strawberry fields forever. Strawberry fields forever. Strawberry fields forever.
Good morning. I'm Jane Kyle Yoder, and I'm your reader for today. I'm reading from Science of Mind magazine from this month, Reverend Dr. Michelle Medrano. She says, discerning the spiritual truth about a condition or circumstance is one of the greatest skills we can learn. To make this leap and reap the benefits, we must escape our attachment to our conditions and embrace greater spiritual awareness. This journey is not always easy, but it is well worth it. And today's reading is mistakes or opportunities. The most valuable thing you can make is a mistake. You can't learn anything from being perfect. It is not, and that's from Adam Osborne. It is not that we have made no mistakes, but if the belief in the necessity of mistakes stays in the consciousness, then there is bound to be repetition. It is a scientific practice to declare that there have been no mistakes in our consciousness, that if there have been, they are now wiped out. Ernest Holmes, The Science of Mind. Unresolved mistakes can feed guilt and remorse. They also live in consciousness such that how we feel about our mistakes creates more of the same for us. It seems that mistakes are a condition many of us would love to resolve and avoid. Yet the truth is that mistakes help us learn and grow. Think of the examples of a medical doctor or an airline pilot. Rather than experiencing a perfect educational journey, doesn't it seem that the one who made mistakes along the way and learned how to correct those mistakes would be a more desirable person to get medical care from or to fly with? Since I'm getting on an airplane on Tuesday. Okay. Every human has made mistakes. We all make mistakes. Accepting this and seeing mistakes as opportunities to learn is a vital part of facing our conditions. There's also the invitation to face mistakes with an understanding that whatever has occurred has some element of perfection to it for us and anyone else involved. Being accountable and clear about those moments we feel we have made a mistake can be one of the most empowering feelings we have. This means we can acknowledge what did not go as planned, be apologetic for it, make amends if necessary, and then work to discover how the experience can be avoided in the future and how it has blessed us. This also means we can choose to be more compassionate to those who make mistakes that impact us, leading to greater peace and well-being for all. And your affirmation for today is, I choose compassion in the face of mistakes, compassion for me and compassion for others. Thank you. Have a great day. And thank you, Jack.
Hold on a second, I'm tuning. The changing humidity and temperatures these days are very sensitive on this delicate 1920s instrument. All right, I'm gonna do a Neil Young song. This one has a little bit more of the theme of dreaming and something along the lines of what Jane was saying too. Well, I dreamed I saw the knights in armor coming, saying something about a queen. There was peasants singing, drummers drumming, the archer split the tree. There was a fanfare blowing to the sun, floated on the breeze. Look at Mother Nature on the run in the 1970s. Look at Mother Nature on the run in the 1970s. I was lying in a burned out basement with the full moon in my eye. I was hoping for a replacement when the sun burst through the skies. There was a band playing in my head, and I felt like getting high, thinking about what a friend had said, was hoping it was a lie. Yes, I was thinking about what a friend had said, hoping it was a lie. Where I dreamed I saw a silver spaceship flying on the yellow haze of the sun. There were children crying, colors flying all around the chosen one. All in a dream, all in a dream. The loading had begun. Flying Mother Nature's silver seed to a new home in the sun. As they were flying Mother Nature's silver seed to a new home in the sun. Flying Mother Nature's silver seed to a new home. Thank you. That was after the gold rush.
Yes, I had that album too. I love the songs you picked, Jack. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you.
Fun.
Yeah. Yeah. And Jane, thank you for that. Mistakes. Having compassion for ourselves with mistakes. You know, as I said when I started, I've just spent a week with my kids, and you can't help when they're parenting their children wondering, God, I didn't do it like that, you know? And having compassion for yourself because you didn't do it as well as they do it. So that's definitely what was going on in my head. Speaking truth to circumstance, I said that was a play on speaking truth to power, which was a phrase that came up in the 1950s, and it was started by the Quakers. The Quakers coined that. Did you know that? I didn't know it. And it was a call for the U.S. to stand up against fascism and other kinds of authoritarianism. And The Quakers have a way of doing their meetings when they gather, that they don't speak until they're moved to speak, right? Until that voice is clear. Whose voice? What voice that is. I find that really profound in this conversation of speaking truth to circumstances and not being hypnotized and all of this. So keep that in the back of your head, being quiet until you really know what voice, which voice, the true voice that's asking you to move forward in a certain direction or to speak up. Again, today it's all about waking up, and it's all about waking up to that voice, to that true self, to the I am that's within. And again, I want to repeat that Spirit's the only power. When we talk about, speaking truth to power, the power's never out there. It's always in here. So that's the other thing I want you to just tuck in as we go about talking about this. And we can say Spirit is the one power. We can call it God. We can call it source energy. We can call it the universe. We can call it unconditioned love. I mean, there's just so many words, right? So many ways to feel that presence, which is the important piece to me, that it is not an outside thing. It is an inner feeling. It is something that we align with, that we commune with. And when we think we can control circumstances, yeah, we teach that, and yet, right? There's Spirit here now, imminent, in form, right? Present. Yet, beyond, it's not limited by this form. It's not limited by what the United States thinks. It's not limited by anything, right? So it's here and it's beyond. It's here and it's beyond. And so when we're talking about circumstances, conditions, things, the news, the economy, that it doesn't have power. We can give it our power, and we very often do, and that's when we're falling into that hypnotized way of being. And we see it as scary monsters then. There's like all these different scary monsters. Ooh, this is a scary monster, and this is a scary monster, and we have all these scary monsters. They can be diagnoses. They can be relationship issues. They can be the state of the economy. They can be the state of your bank account, your own personal economy. I mean, there's lots of scary monsters, right? But they're never where the power is. And they're rarely, if ever, what they seem, what we think they are. And that's what we teach in metaphysics. There's always something deeper. There's always something else to know. There's always another level to get to. And we can't get there when we've fallen asleep. We can't get there when we're stuck, when we're hypnotized, right? We can't get there, right? So, Bob Welsh, and I thought you'd appreciate this in the Fleetwood Mac Hypnotized song, Jack. Yeah. He says, now you know it's a meaningless question to ask if these stories are right. Because what matters most is the feeling you get when you're hypnotized. We want to remember to tap in and be present in the midst of everything. And while it's hard to do, with practice, it becomes easier and easier and easier all the time. And I can attest to that after spending the week with my whole family, right? It gets better every time. We wake up. Don Jose Ruiz, who is Miguel's son, right? A Toltec shaman. They call it in the shaman tradition, in the Toltec tradition, domestication. That there's this collective dream that we're living in. right? And of course, in Jungian psychology, it's the collective unconsciousness, right? Which is common to all of us. And what they say is it's the inherited structure in the brain that it ties to our ancestries, which is an interesting thing to look at. But we're being called. We're being called, we're being called, we're being called to awaken all the time. And all the different spiritual traditions, even the Bible, has called us to wake up. To wake up, right? To wake up to that divine incarnation. Change is scary. It's always scary. So Lennon, in that song, this is the particular reason why I really wanted that song. Living is easy with eyes closed, misunderstanding all you see. It's not really easy, though, is it? Because we can make a big mess of things when our eyes are closed. We can make a big mess of things. And we have kind of this collective agreement that that mess has to be perpetuated, don't we? We have this collective agreement that it's always going to be this way, that you have to work hard to make money. You have to work hard. Life has to be a grind, right? We have this collective agreement in our culture that that's the way it is. We also have a collective agreement when you get old, you're going to be sick. We have a collective agreement about that. Is as we age, we're gonna suffer, right? Remember last week, Rev G talked about the seed, the soil, and the plant. Just remember, you're always planting seeds. When you say those things that we all say, that our culture repeats, we're planting seeds every time. And all our judgments of good, bad, right, wrong, us, them, and all the fear that's around that stuff, too. That's all belief in separation, isn't it? It's all belief in duality, and it's a belief that the universe isn't a friendly place. But I disagree. It is. It is, because this is spirit expressing. It wants to express its freedom, its glory, its good, its love, its joy, all of that. But yet, when things don't go our way, we want to control them, right? We want to control, we want to blame, shame, all that kind of stuff. And then we take on the roles, victim, persecutor, rescuer, all of that. And the truth isn't there. Not there. So the science mind principle of oneness, our practices of meditation, of mindfulness, all of that awakens us little by little or all at once. I think it's your choice to the hypnotic state that we're in. And again, that can be a hypnotic state that we inherited from our families, from our ancestors. It could be cultural, it could be religious, it could be political. It doesn't really matter what it is. You have the power to break that cycle. Nobody does that for you. Nobody does it for me, right? So when I've fallen asleep, when I'm hypnotized, what is it for me? What's the thing that can get me out of it? I have got a great image in my head of what being hypnotized is. You turn on the TV, and those three little ones, I've got two twin grandsons that are 6 years old and a 3-year-old. The TV comes on. And, there is an idea that that's intentional, that there's things about the TV, the movies that are intentionally addictive and create that for our children. Whether that is true or not is really not for me to stand here and say, but what I will say is, kids get hypnotized when the TV comes on. That's just what happens, isn't it? And it's amazing. And it didn't matter even if we had on, for my kids, if we had on a meditative soundtrack and the underwater sea life. Which is good to know. It's good to note. They were still right on it. Right on it. And let me tell you, my 8-month-old grandbaby, if she has a choice between her favorite little soft toy and the boys' cars that they're playing with, or Mama's cell phone, where do you think she goes? Holy cow, how is that happening? How is that happening? How is that happening? I ask you to think of it. It's true. It's true. She goes to the cell phone. She's 8 months old. I mean, literally just turned 8 months old. I don't know the answer to it. What is it for you? What is it for you that when it gets turned on or you see it, you go, and you're just there and you can't break yourself away? Is it the news? Is it social media? Are you doom scrolling? What is it? What is it for you? It could be something that's a distraction, like TV is for children. It's simply a distraction, right? So it could be a distraction in your life. What is it for you? What is it? Tony Robbins, when he was asked if it was hard to hypnotize people, which is, of course, another use of hypnotism, which I'm not really discussing today, but I found his answer really interesting. He said, no. The difficulty is waking them up from the trance state that they're already in. We don't even recognize it in ourselves usually, you know? It takes a kind, loving husband to go, why are you doing that again, right? We want to wake up. And to the degree that we wake up, then we experience the reality with the capital R. Then we're aligning with spirit to the degree. And again, we can take little steps, or one day we can go, you know what, I am done. I'm opening my eyes. And then you're shown more and more and more and more. Before we can change the world out there, all the things that we point our fingers at, it always starts within. And I know I sound like a broken record with that, but it is absolutely the truth. It's my own personal truth. I see that journey in myself. And I have to recognize that what I see out there is a reflection of the state in here. And there's no mistake, that is true for me. And I have to also recognize that the fears that I have are the ideas that I have about what's happening. But is it really what's happening? Do I know that it's really what's happening? It is so humbling. It is so humbling and freeing at the same time to recognize when you're doing that. To catch your own self, and then having compassion for yourself. So mindfulness was a big thing on this vacation. So we went to Western North Carolina. Windy, wet roads. Windy, wet roads. I mean, if you've been to the big mountains out in Utah and Montana, it is not the drive from Cashers to Highlands, or Highlands to Franklin, or Cashers to Brevard or Hendersonville in the dark when it's raining. You don't know. You don't know if you haven't been on those little roads. Am I not right? It is this. It is switchback. You cannot get hypnotized by that. There are no guardrails on most of those roads. You know, there are no guardrails. And you got to be aware of what's on your path when you're walking. Our favorite hike, Whitesides Mountain, that path is much narrower than it's ever been before. You got the bushes on both sides of you walking through. My little six-year-old grandsons are in front of me, and the one turns around and looks at me, and he goes, after he sees it's just this narrow, as far as he can see right now, and he goes, all right, I got this. And he did. But I had to be alert. I had to be very, very alert going through that trail with them. Can't be mesmerized by the headlights on the highway, coming home after driving 9, 10, 11 hours. We left yesterday at 9:04. We got home at 9:19, I think. Yeah, it was a long day. Jack Kornfield said, and I love this quote, I used it in the newsletter, "Those awake live in constant amazement." I was constantly amazed with those boys and my granddaughter, constantly amazed, but alert all the time. There were snakes and bears literally right outside our door. I am not joking. We've got pictures of the boys standing at the front door and the bears outside on the opposite side of the door, looking at him. We all went out on the porch when he was on the big rock wall, and then there were snakes, multiple snakes, not just the rubber ones that were in my bed and in my bathtub and wherever else the boys could find them, because once they caught hint of Mom doesn't really like snakes or Grandma doesn't really like snakes, yeah, my one grandson decided to spend all his money on rubber snakes at the store, at the toy store. Waterfalls, we took them to Sliding Rock. You gotta be alert. You gotta be paying attention all the time. And you know what I saw when I was paying attention? When I was intentional and alert and paying attention, I saw love. Even if the voices got loud, even if someone was crying, even if the boys were fighting, I saw love. Love trying to express itself. Love trying to be known. Love wanting to be heard. Love wanting to be seen, you know? And I heard wisdom when my parents wanted to talk about politics. I heard wisdom, and I let it be, which I wasn't able to do years ago. I felt truth. I saw beauty. I saw beyond circumstances and conditions when I remembered to do it, when I paid attention intentionally. My son and daughter, my mother and stepfather, my husband, my 4 grandkids, all together for a week. Wow, what an opportunity. What an opportunity to do that, to see God in action. So Ernest Holmes says the larger part of our mental life is submerged. The larger part of our mental life is submerged. And we have these habitual patterns that we move automatically. They automatically determine what we're going to say, how we're going to respond. Yeah. He says, in this way, we are more or less hypnotized from the cradle to the grave. That's what the Bhagavad Gita is all about. That's what the Toltecs are talking about. We have these spells that we're under when we're hypnotized, right? We have these spells. A spell that we're separate from life, and a spell that life's not safe. A spell that we're not good enough, right? So then we attempt to control it or to do it right. That perfectionism that Jane was reading about. So the rest of this Ernest Holmes quote is, there's inner impulsions from those subjective thought patterns, and they're stronger than our mind, stronger than the intellect, so just sheer willpower doesn't do it. We need imagination, we need feeling to help us break those chains. And I think spiritual mind treatment, what we call affirmative prayer, the steps to it, the way you first declare that there's only one thing, it's all God and it's good and I'm part of it, and you allow yourself to sink in and feel that so deeply, is palpable. And the more you do it, the more you feel that, and the more you know it's true, and the more it becomes part of you. And then when you proclaim those things that you don't want and the things that you do want, you can it just becomes lively in your mind, just like those 6-year-old and the 3-year-old at play. It's so alive. I love this. Michael Beckwith. When you believe more in what you don't see than in what you do see, then what you do see you won't see, and what you don't see you will see. You got that? I want you to take it home. All right, we're going to do it again. When you believe more in what you don't see than what you do see, those conditions that you're putting your power in, when you believe more in what you don't see, than what you do see. Then what you do see, you won't see. And what you don't see, you will see. Got it? All right. That is speaking truth to circumstances. All right, Jack, what you got for us? While he's coming up, I want to remind you, I put it in the newsletter, but we have a CSL speaker series online on July 14th. It's a Friday. I think it's noon for us, but I'm not real sure. But it's on page 13 in the magazine over there. Or you can go to shop.csl.org, and you can sign up for a sit with Don Jose Ruiz, online. He's going to do a little talk, and you can ask him questions. It'll be a nice, intimate thing. So check that out. All right, Jack, what you got for us?
I've got another Beatles song, if that's okay.
I love it. Of course, I was listening to Sirius Beatle channel on my drive up. Yes, do Beatles.
This one is also a John song, and it's about sleeping and floating upstream. When I wake up early in the morning, lift my head, I'm still yawning when I'm in the middle of a dream. Staying back, float upstream, please don't spoil my day. I'm miles away, and after all, I'm only sleeping. Everybody seems to think I'm lazy. I don't mind. Think they're crazy, running everywhere at such a speed, till they find there's no need. There's no need. Please don't wake me. No, don't shake me. Leave me as I am. I'm only sleeping. Keeping an eye on the world going by my window, taking my time, lying there and staring at the ceiling, waiting for a sleeping feeling. Don't spoil my day, I'm miles away, and after all, I'm only sleeping. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Jack. On? Is it on? Thank you, Jack, for blessing us with your gift of song this morning. Thank you so much. My name is Jim Grove. I'm a licensed spiritual practitioner here at the center, and it's time for our offering. So as Theresa has already said, let's speak truth to circumstance. Let's speak the truth to abundance and to circulation in our lives, our own personal lives, but as well as this center's life as well. Because what we put back into it, we're going to get back from it. So know this with me then as you take your gift and as you see the scroll online for ways that you at home can contribute to the center. Just know this with me that it is the truth that life is abundant. It is the truth that life gives itself to us unconditionally. And as we give back to life, we receive more back from it. And all of these gifts that are presented here today or through our online banking or however we gift them that these gifts go forth to bless, to prosper, and to heal. And I give great thanks for this. Allow it to be so, and so it is. Bobby?
All right, thank you, Jim. Let's sing together. I receive the gift of life and pass it on. I receive the gift of love and pass it on. I receive the gift of joy and pass it on. I receive all good and pass it on. I receive the gift of life and pass it on. I receive the gift of love and pass it on. I receive the gift of joy and pass it on. I receive all good and pass it on.
Thank you so much. We're so grateful for your financial support of this center. I have a few announcements for you this morning. First of all, our newsletter comes out each week, and you can sign up to receive it if you are not already doing so at our table back here or online at our website, which is cslculturalcoast.org. Also, prayer requests. You can either email a prayer request to prayer@cslculturalcoast.org or complete a prayer request form on this small round table over here by the screen and place it in the box. And just know that you'll be kept in positive affirmative prayer by our team of spiritual practitioners throughout this week. And if you would like one-on-one prayer support, I am available today to meet with you for a few minutes and know your truth with you, and that would be behind the screen over to my right. Online opportunities for spiritual community. We have a couple of them. Starting next Sunday, as Reverend Theresa said earlier, we will have Zoom available for people who are Zooming in from home, and you can come in and socialize with the community and then watch the service together on Zoom. So we invite you to do that, and the Zoom link will be in the newsletter this coming week. Also, our spiritual living circle continues every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 p.m., and that is a time where you can join in by Zoom, and we discuss an article from the current month's Science of Mind magazine. And if you would like to participate and you're not already in the list, please see me after the service. You can also sign up by emailing me at the address that's in the newsletter or on the website. After the service today, Satya Winkleman will conduct a comedy improv play shot. And that is backed by popular demand, by the way, if you couldn't tell already. That begins at 12:30. If you had not planned on coming or had not registered, please do plan on staying, and you can go over to the snack stand at the park next door and get a lunch and bring it back, eat it, and then join us at 12:30.
And I'm going to interrupt for a second, Jim.
You go right ahead.
Because I just got home last night, I wasn't quite prepared this morning on everything, so, but I love myself anyway. And the sign up for for Satya's Play Shop is over here, and I know there's several of you that have already paid online because Dan set us up with that really cool system, so you could pay online and register at the same time. But I didn't print out that list, so if you would do me a favor and just jot your name down, you can check that you already paid. But so we have an idea how many chairs we're going to quickly set up over here. So that would be good.
Great. Thank you, Theresa. And then, as Theresa mentioned a little bit earlier, there is that opportunity to join our home organization, Centers for Spiritual Living, with the Hour with Don Jose Ruiz, entitled The Shaman's Path to Freedom. And you can register at shop.csl.org. You have 5 people that join, you get a 20% discount, I believe, so that's pretty good. I do believe it starts at 11 a.m. our time. It's 9 a.m. Mountain time. So registration will close on Thursday, so if you plan to do that, please go online and do that.
Yeah, just one person. You need to have everybody's names and email, I think. You need to have everybody's names and email, and they probably will pay you back. One person will pay. That's usually the way they do it. I haven't signed up, so I don't know for sure, but that's normally the way they do it.
So plan on attending that. And then also just be sure to check out our website, cslculturalcoast.org, or our Facebook page for more information about this and other events here at the center. Thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Oh yeah, mangoes.
Yes, I didn't, when I came this morning, I'm not expecting to take any mangoes home, just empty baskets, so please.
Lovely.
everybody, take a few mangoes.
Thank you so much.
For
Thank
those
you.
that didn't hear,
Thank
free
you.
mangoes on the table, so take some when you go.
So before we let Jack do our last song and close us out, I forgot a punchline. Deepak Chopra said that the sleepiness that we fall under, the dream, of social conditioning, the hypnosis that we fall into under social conditioning, it's only broken by sages, psychotics, and geniuses. So you get to pick which one you are, not me. Thanks for being with us.
I just wanted to say thank you guys again so much for having me. It's always such a positive experience here, and I also wanted to share something from my own experience about hypnosis. Not that I've been hypnotized or done hypnosis, but I saw a very, very beautiful film by a German director named Werner Herzog, and I liked it so much I read a book that he wrote about the making of the film. It's called Heart of Glass. It's about an old factory town in Germany somewhere in the turn of the century where they were all so focused on making this glass in a very specific way, they kind of lost sight of how to live their lives. And when they lost the secret formula for the glass, things got scary for them because they weren't prepared to live in reality. But the cool thing about the film is that every actor was hypnotized personally by the director, Werner Herzog, when they did their parts, and it's just such an amazing, beautiful film. Heart of Glass. And here's a fun, upbeat song, a little more contemporary, called Riptide. I was scared of dentists and the dark. I was scared of pretty girls and starting conversations. All my friends turning green. You're the magician's assistant in my dream. And it comes unstuck, baby, going down to the riptide. Take it away to the dark side. I wanna be your left-hand man. I love you when you're singing that song, and I get a lump in my throat 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. There's this movie that I think you'd like. It's about a guy who quits his job and heads to New York City. The cowboy is running from himself. He's been living on the highest shelf. And it comes unstuck, baby, going down to the riptide. Take it away to the dark side. I wanna be your left-hand man. I love you when you're singing that song, and I got a lump in my throat 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. Baby, going down to the riptide. Take it away to the dark side. I wanna be your left-hand man. I love you when you're singing that song, and I got a lump in my throat 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. I got a lump in my throat 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. Thank you.